August as we have our party scoopers in studio with us as we like to talk things political. Sam and Craig all ready to go here. So, what is in the news this week? I can't think of anything offhand. Can you, Jason Parkin?
I can. It's been really quiet.
So what do you suggest, Sam? We'll go to you to throw a curve here.
Do we really have to talk about Donald Trump again?
I never mentioned him. I just want to go on the record. I want to go on the record by saying we never said anything about Donald Trump, did we?
And
Craig?
the Democrats are always bringing him up, and that's why we're stuck talking about him on the Republican Party.
Is he still in the race?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
What from last week's debate is anyone talking about almost a week later besides Donald Trump?
You know, the most important thing, though, that happened is the ratings for this debate. I mean, they had over 24 million viewers. The last cycle's top primary debate had 6 million viewers.
Wow.
So even if you hate everything that Donald Trump is talking about, making this race about, even if you're one of the other candidates who, they keep complaining about him, he's bringing so many more eyeballs to that debate stage that you should almost view it like, ignore him, enjoy all the attention you can get from it, and rise above him, and really use it as an opportunity to, broadcast your views, your opinions, and how you would lead.
Okay, let's survey here.
Yeah.
So we can hear the 5 minutes that the other ones had a chance to
Okay,
see.
survey here, just real quick. How many people here watch the debate? I'm obviously you two
Absolutely.
watch it. I watched part of it.
Yep.
Just a little piece of it.
I didn't have time.
You didn't see any of it?
No.
Okay. All right.
Highlights,
That's surprising.
but that
okay.
was just, I was busy. I didn't have time.
I
So
like-
3 out of 5 here. Okay.
I hate our two-party system and the fact that I have two choices every election. So I like people like Bernie Sanders and like Donald Trump. For all the things I don't like about them, they at least shake things up and make it exciting and make the parties nervous, and I like that.
The other candidate that is shaking things up is that you have Donald Trump on one side, and really the complete opposite is Dr. Ben Carson.
Thank you.
Who he had a big event on the Court Avenue Bridge this weekend, over 1,500 people there. It was really unique, and as I walked through those crowds, I mean, it's amazing that I know some people, but I don't know a lot of them. I mean, they're all new people, and for as outrageous as Donald Trump can be, Ben Carson is he's had some things where he's gotten in political trouble for things that he said too. But again, his message was really positive and uplifting this weekend, and so it's interesting that really the guys running the two probably best campaigns in Iowa are these outsiders. Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, even Ted Cruz, they're not running the best campaigns in Iowa. Both those, Cruz and Carson and Trump, actually are running better campaigns
But
in
do you
Iowa
think
than they are.
the folks in the middle are just waiting for the fallout, just waiting to see what's going to implode?
Oh, that's like me watching figure skating. I want to see him wreck. In turn 3. So you'll always have people like me watching politics. I mean, and the thing is with Donald Trump, you wake up every day and you're like, so is this the last day?
Yeah.
Or what is today going to be? And so that's some excitement. But I've always thought that Trump's kind of an indictment against the rest of the field because they're really not all that interesting.
No.
You look back to 2008 and 2012, President Obama is far more interesting than John McCain and Mitt Romney. And so I think they need to show their personality, and if they don't have a personality, it's a weakness of them as a candidate.
So let's talk about something besides Trump for a second. Let's talk about Rand Paul, because with the indictments going on that happened with his father's campaign, they're starting to spread over into Rand Paul, because some of those are happening with the super PAC, raising funds for him. How is that affecting him? Will it affect him with these indictments going on, and what does his campaign look like?
This is really serious. You already have a very interesting dynamic with Rand Paul, where you already have him not really running the type of campaign that people expected of him.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be his dad.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have that big fan base. He's not, in the polls, he's kind of in the second tier. Fundraising isn't what people thought. and then all of a sudden you bring along these indictments, and 3 indictments, and this is serious business. And a lot of people in Iowa, I think especially, think, well, this is just all about a state senator. It's not. This is inappropriate activity of a presidential campaign that made payments under the table to someone. They circumvented the FEC rules, all of this stuff, and then they lied to the federal investigators, and they're in really big trouble. And the issue is these aren't, so these candidates will say, well, they're, the super PACs are not, they're not associated with us. Well, bull, we know. That they're about it, they're closely aligned. Jesse Benton, the person in charge of the super PAC, the top figure in this whole scandal, is related to Rand Paul through marriage. He lived in Rand Paul's house during his 2010 election year when he ran for the Senate. And this is the only super PAC that is endorsed by the senator. And so these are big issues, and I know they want to brush them off and say it's no big deal. But the fascinating thing to me is they knew, everyone knew that this was coming.
So Ron and Rand knew that this was going on.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's phone calls. If you go back to the original investigation and tapes, that they were all, Sorensen himself was asking, do you think Ron knows? Do you think Rand knows? And at some point, when your campaign manager and your chairman know, and the person who used to run Campaign for Liberty, when they're all involved in it, this is the Paul political machine. This isn't some offshoots of it. This is the actual political machine that came under indictment, and that's why I think it's pretty serious.
Is this going to bring him down?
What?
Is this going to bring him down?
I don't think bring him down is necessarily probably the right words, but what I think it will do is at some point, I have an article that mentions this stuff today, at some point he has to look at it and say, okay, what's more important here? My presidential campaign's not taking off. Am I going to just go focus on re-election, which people forget he's up for re-election this year in Kentucky. So does it take him out of the presidential field? In fact, my article today is, are we about to cull the herd? And I can make the case for, we might, by the time we debate the next time, there might be 6 candidates missing on that debate.
All right, Sam, we see that the Jenga blocks are starting to be pulled out right now. So just things are starting to get interesting here on the Republican side.
I know, our soap opera is missing. So
I was going to say, what about on the Democratic side? Is anything like
just
this,
like the emails?
Is anything like this happening?
Sorry.
Are we pretty stable on the Democratic side?
it's pretty stable. I mean,
I got that.
So the DNC announced that they'll do 6 debates, and right now the biggest kind of point of contention within the party is people like Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders. They're saying we need more than 6 debates. We need more than 1 debate in Iowa, which obviously, as a frontrunner, Hillary Clinton wouldn't want that. But I think that's the one thing that O'Malley just keeps hitting, and most voters, I think, don't really care a lot about that. But for him, I think he really shines in a debate or forum setting. I saw him at the Des Moines Partnership a few weeks ago, and he handled those questions probably better than I've seen any candidate in person handle questions from an audience before. So I think he's looking for ways where he can kind of stand out.
And Clinton wants 0 debates.
Well,
I don't think that's. I think she can do pretty well.
No, and when it comes to debates, I think the public, they haven't even geared up and not even the full speed yet. But to be honest with you, I don't think people want to see a bunch of these things. I think you might want to get a handful of them and then just do your best in those handful. I think 6 debates is way too many.
The average person probably doesn't want to watch 6
they're not going
debates.
to watch them. Yeah.
But for caucuses, at least, you have caucus goers who are the highly engaged people in the party who actually do want to see that. These are people who go to multiple candidate events and have to shake every candidate's hand before they'll even consider caucusing for them. So I think for that audience, more debates, more forums would suit them. But we'll see what happens. I don't think the DNC is going to change their mind anytime soon.
But we do have one of those debates that's going to happen in Des Moines
One will happen
before
in Des Moines.
the caucus.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's one more question, because this is more interesting than whatever I'm going to say for weather, because the weather's really boring.
It's beautiful out.
It is gorgeous.
It's going to be nice.
After all the things that have happened, and I'm sorry to bring up Trump again, what is he going to have to do to get knocked out of this race?
I think he's his own kryptonite. I think that, he's such a salesperson where he builds himself up. I'm the best candidate ever. My ratings are great, all this stuff. If there's a dip in the poll and he has to start explaining things, that's where I think it gets problematic for him. So if voters start to tire of him in early states or nationally, then I think it's almost kind of like how does he turn that around? But I don't know. I mean, I have like a 3-day rule with Donald Trump. You can't write your article as news breaks of Donald Trump because you're going to be wrong. So this whole Megyn Kelly stuff over the weekend, you watch it and it's really bad day one, and oh no, it's still bad. And then you're like, by day 3, Monday, everyone's like, whatever. And so you can't just you don't want to overreact to things. So I just kind of let it sit there on the stove and simmer a little bit, and then you're like, well.
And the media loves Trump. In the case of the debate, I mean, Roger Ailes called Trump and cleared the air because they need each other for this.
Look, if you're CNN, you are absolutely desperate to have him on the debate stage because look at all the people that are watching. It was like an NFL game. You're tuning in because you don't know what's going to happen.
All right, Sam, here's your goal. Here's your task for the week. Your homework assignment. Have the Dems do something in the next week.
Crazy.
No, I'll be here on Friday in Clear Lake, the Surf Ballroom for the North Iowa Wingding. So
that
who
works.
knows? I don't know if anything crazy will happen.
Hillary's going to go jet skiing. It's going to be great.
We'll see.
Can't wait to see
With a
it.
wing.
Windsurf.
In a pantsuit.
In a pants.
That would make news. All right, well done, guys.